making carbon and oxygen and those things. So those things out of which we are made come from generations of stars that assembled them and then died, threw that stuff out into the universe. And then gravity takes over and it recollapses that into new stars and then ultimately planets. And that's the story of the universe. So the story is 13.8 billion years, of which the Earth has been around 4.5 billion, by the way. So to get a scale of it, you end up from this simplest of elements. The heavy elements get made in stars. Gravity collapses it all back together again. And ultimately you get places like this. And some of it, by the way, so you've got like gold, you've got like a gold ring or some, a wedding ring or something like that. If you're listening now or watching, you look at that. It was one of the great mysteries, actually. Where is that made? Because we didn't quite understand it until very recently.
What, gold?
Yeah, so we
really?
thought maybe it's made in supernova explosions when they explode. But then a few years ago, we had these experiments, and they're called gravitational wave experiments, and they're in their own right are amazing. So we can see things like black holes colliding and sending ripples out in the fabric of the universe, space and time.
What happens when a black hole
So they merge into two black holes.
Do they become massive?
A bigger black hole.
Oh, God.
But it's really violent. And they make space and time ripple. And these things are called gravitational waves, and they go out. A friend of mine, Kip Thorne, actually got the Nobel Prize for this work, called it a storm in time.
Ooh,
so this
nice.
time storm goes,
Storm in time.
and we can measure it. So we saw one of these time storms in our detector, and it was a collision between these things called neutron stars, which are stars that are the mass of the sun, but they've collapsed to the size of a city. They're about 10 kilometres across these things.
Say that again.
It's a star, actually
So it's
more
like
massive than the sun.
Bigger than the sun, collapses.
Till it's about the size of London.
And are you talking about that's when it runs out
Yeah.
of, so it dies and collapses
Gravity
into
just
London?
collapses it. So you get these remarkable, they're like a single atomic nucleus, these things, really violent. The last step towards a black hole, right? If they get any bigger, they just go. But so these things are around. And we saw two of them collide with these ripples. And we got our telescopes and sent them and looked in the sky and watched. And we saw gold being made. So we think that a lot of the gold, and this is this gold that you're wearing now, that came, a lot of it, perhaps most of it, from the collision between neutron stars. Isn't that
And it
amazing?
ended up in Earth.
Yeah, and then so it got made in these collisions, and then gravity collapses it, and we dig it up and make it into jewellery. It's part of that remarkable story. But so
Brian.
So we